Hello my sweets, it's Keisha. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you for joining me and I hope you consider subscribing. The Dollar Tree Christmas tree event is finally here. Kerri from Mama Dares to DIY and I invited our YouTube creator friends to create DIYs using the Dollar Tree Christmas tree. So when you're done watching my video, be sure to check out the playlist in the description box below. Today I'll be showing you how I made this sweets themed tree. Alright, let's get to it. A list of supplies I used is in the description box below. Okay, so what I did to begin is I took two of the Dollar Tree white trees here and I spray painted them a pink color, and I did two coats, and when I started to do the second coat I actually sprinkled the tree with glitter. You could see some has landed on the table already, but I sprinkled it down with iridescent glitter to give it a little extra shine. So next what I did after it was dry is I took all of the branches on one and moved them all to one side, and I did that for the second one. So we're going to put these two trees together to make it a little bit fuller, and what I'm going to do is slide this little piece off. It comes off quite easily and this will help the trees get closer together. Okay, so to put them together I'll be using zip ties today, and these are from Tool Bench from Dollar Tree, and you get 60 pieces in a pack and they are 7.9 inches. They do have a variety of different sizes that you can get. So now what I'm going to do is take the two trees and just attach them together at a couple different points on the tree. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove these and I'll be back with the next step. Okay, so next what I have here is some glitter tulle that I picked up during the Valentine's Day at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to be using this to help the tree look a little bit fuller than what it is. And what I have next to it is this tool. I realize you're not going to be able to find this one right now, and if you don't have this on hand, this is an option. They have this in the wedding section pretty much year round. It is white, and the only thing that I would suggest is maybe adding this first and spray painting it while it's on the tree, or if you don't mind the two-tone look, I think this would make a great alternative for this one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this open. And the only difference in between these two, to go back, is the Valentine's one has 6 yards and this one only carries 5 yards. But they're the same width. Okay, so this is what this tool looks like once you finally get it open. And let's see, the bottom of this tree's branches are about the 6-inch width. I believe this is 6 inches. Let me get a ruler out. Yes, this is 6 inches wide. So what I'm going to do is cut this to 13. Let's do 14 because I can always trim it. And this is just to start with. So I'm going to take it, and where these openings are in the tree, I am going to tie it around and give it a little knot. And you can see it in here. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut it to 15 inches just so it has a little bit more length there. And then that way once we get to fluffing the tree, they'll be about the same length. So as I go up, I'm going to measure the next level, and so I'm not going to cut when I get up to this level, I'm not going to cut it to 15. I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter and do that area. So I'm probably going to do about 4 or 5 of these. We'll see how it looks. We'll start with 4 and see how it looks. And I'll come back and report. Okay, so I've gotten the glitter tool tied onto the levels. I ended up using 2 rolls of the mesh, and this is what I have left over from those 2 rolls. So what I'm going to do is take this final little bit that I have and see about tying it around the top. I'm not sure, it might work out. But what I did was on each level, I ended up doing 4. Kind of, if you think about it in corners, I tied on 4 that way. So the measurements that I used, I just measured from the bottom up. So for this one, if you remember, this is about 6 inches. So I ended up doing 15. So you want to double how far it is from the center and then add 3 inches for the tie if you want to do it the way that I did it. So I'm just going to tie these on here. And then if you noticed, I don't know if you can notice, but on the branches, I did go ahead and fluff them out, and I kind of gave the ends of them a curl. That also helps with just a little curl up. It also helps with the tree to make it look fuller. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish this, tying off this top piece, and then get ready to make some decorations for our tree. So I will return momentarily. Next, what I have are felt stickers that come in a 4 count from Crafter's Square, and they are gingerbread. I'm going to be creating some ornaments, and this one is going to be super easy. I am going to put this one to the side because it's missing some pieces, so I'm going to do some reconstructive surgery on her. So right now we'll just be creating the 3. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do is, I have this scrap piece of felt here. You could also use cardstock, even paper, because these are pretty sturdy, or fabric. But what I'm going to be doing is sticking them to the actual felt. Now what I have also are these, what I'm going to be using to make the hook for the ornament. And I actually use these ornament hangers. Of course, they're a jumbled mess. These ornament hangers, and I basically just straighten them out first, and then curve them into a U shape using the brush. Just any round thing that you have. So I rolled it around the brush, and then I took the ends and twisted it. So that creates this situation here with the loop on top. Okay, so what we're gonna do is line up the top of the head with the edge of the felt, and then just give it just cut the felt down. Okay. Then I'm going to take the sticker off of the back. And then stick my hook on. And then I'm going to, could you see that? I'm sorry. Then I stick the hook down into the sticky. And then I'm going to take the gingerbread and line it up with the top. The little piece that we cut. Then you just want to press it down. Now, if you're more comfortable adding additional glue, you can most certainly do that So next I'm going to cut around the felt. I think the hardest part about this ornament here is me not being able to find my smaller detail scissors. So this one's actually really simple to do. Okay, so I'm just going to clean up the edge of this one just a little bit here, so there's not as much hangover to the front. So that's what it looks like with your hook. And then just to give it a little bit more security, I am going to take and peel the felt back just a little bit and add just a little bit of hot glue there. Okay. So that's really simple. Another option for the hanger is I have some baker's twine here, and I cut about a 6-inch piece, and I already have my little piece of felt here, and it's going to be this pretty much the same process as the previous one. So I'm just going to lightly place this down on the felt and then flip it over, and then take the twine and come to the back here and stick it down. And this time I am going to come in and do it this way as far as gluing the twine down for the hanger. And then you'll just trim the edges, and that's what this one looks like. So we have two different ways, and I would, you can either use the regular ornament hook or hanger to go on here, or you can use a piece of twine or ribbon to go ahead and hang this one as well. Next, what I have here is some Model Magic clay. And I'm going to show you with this package here because you probably pick those colors up better. But I have red, yellow, blue, and white. And I picked these up at Dollar General, and they were $1 per package. I have seen them at Dollar Tree a couple of times, but most of the time I do find them at Dollar General in these smaller packages. If you need the bigger packages, then you can get them at any, well, your local craft store, and sometimes Walmart carries them in white. With these, if you have these three colors here, and even the white, because the white's nice to lighten, you can pretty much mix any color that you want. So right now, what I'm going to do is mix up a purple, just so you can see. And you just pinch off a little bit of the red and blue, because that's how we make purple. And then from there, once you mix them together, if you want to lighten it, you can add some of the white. Now I did find that because of the, I guess, the tone of the colors that I want to use are a little bit lighter, I have found that I've been using a lot more white than I have any of the other colors. So you just want to mix it, and if you need more red, add more red. Just depends on the shade of the color purple you're trying to get to. So now this is the point where I'm going to start mixing in some white. And you need, you know, quite a bit of white to lighten this. You just keep kneading it, pulling it, twisting it until you get the shade and all of the colors mixed in. So this is still a little dark for me for what I'm wanting to do, so I can even pull off some of this purple and save this for another project. And then go ahead and add the white. And I can always go back and forth in between. But I'm liking this shade. It's just a little bit lighter than this darker shade here. Okay, so I'm gonna mix up some more colors and then I'll be back. Okay, so these are the colors that I've mixed up here. So the orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And then I have a little bit of this raspberry pink left over from another project that I did. So I'll be using that eventually. But what I'm going to do is show you how to make simple candy, red and white candy. And obviously you need red and white. And I typically try to do them about the same size balls. And then I'm just gonna roll it into a tube. And it doesn't have to be anything perfect. Okay, so there's the white one. And then I'm gonna come in and do the red one next. And this red one, what I'm gonna do, I'm kneading it right now to warm it up. I'm going to break it in half. So you have about 2 equal pieces. If they're not exact, it's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to roll this to try to be the same length as this white one. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this other red one as well. Okay, so now I'm gonna stack them on either side of the red, just like that. And then I'm gonna start trying to roll them together into a log. And as you roll it out, you'll see that it starts twisting a little bit. You can go ahead and help that along. And continue to roll it. And you can roll it as thin as you would like. Twist it here. You can see the candy cane is starting to form. And if you want more white than red, you can either make the white pieces, the red pieces slightly smaller, or you can do the colors opposite of how I did them. So do the red one, the big one, and then separate the white one smaller. If that makes sense. So you're just going to keep rolling it out to your desired thickness and twisting it. Okay, so at this point you can cut this down and make candy canes if you'd like. Or what I'm going to do is actually roll it in on itself. And just spiral it around. Just like that. So we have that, and you can use a skewer and stick a skewer in there so it dries, and then you'll have yourself a lollipop. Or you can stick a hook in there, and you just want to try to stick that in carefully so it doesn't come through the front or the back. And you just let this dry 2 to 3 days 1 to 3 days, excuse me, depending on the thickness of it. And you have yourself some lightweight candies. Okay. Okay, so next I'm going to do one with all the colors. And this one is that raspberry pink that I had in a separate package, but you could mix this color by mixing together red and white. So I just have little balls here of the colors, and I'm going to roll it out to the same length as that pink one. Alright, so next you're going to just take your colors and lay them down. And you just want to be careful because once you place this on there, it kind of wants to stick to itself. But again, it doesn't have to be anything perfect. So then you just roll it out like we did the last one. Once you get it to your desired thickness, you can then cut it and make candy canes or roll it like I'm going to do here. I'm actually going to stop at a certain point and find something to cut with here. I'm going to go ahead and use my blade, and you can just cut it, and you can smooth it down. Here. And if you want to do a mini lollipop, you can stick a toothpick in there, or a skewer would be the right thickness for that. But again, I'm making ornaments for my little mini tree, so I'm gonna stick this right inside of here, just being careful to make sure to stay in the center. And then I'm gonna set this aside to dry for a couple of days, and I'm gonna do the next one. So you don't have to go as psychedelic as all the colors. You can do just like how we did this one, the basic two colored candies. But I just wanted to show you that you can do the multicolored ones. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and set those aside to dry, and we'll move on to our next ornament. These are the next ornaments that I'll be using on my little tree. I had to make a separate video to prevent this one from being too long. If you'd like to learn how I made these mini faux cupcake ornaments, the video is linked in the description box below. Next I'll be making a little tree topper for the tree. And what I did here was took some burlap ribbon and this glitter ribbon from Dollar Tree and just made a bow. And next what I'm going to do is, I got this last year at Walmart. It had more pieces on it, but I used some pieces off of it. And I have some of these base fillers. And what I'm going to do is simply take the ones off that have the, I don't know what this is, part of the berries off, and replace them with some of these berries in here. Now I was looking for the ones from Easter time in my stash. Unfortunately, I could not find them because those have, if I'm remembering correctly, they had like the greens and the blues, yellows in them. Unfortunately, I can't find those, so I'm going to use what I had close at hand. So I'm simply just pulling them off. Oops. That one to come off, but that's okay. And then I'm going to take some of these different ones, and since they're styrofoam, just replace them by sticking them back on where I pulled the ones off. Just like that. Now, if you prefer, you can put a little glue to help them stay on. I'm not going to do that just in case I do come across the Easter ones in my travels before Christmas is over. Then I can switch them out. Okay, so that's essentially all that I'm going to do with that. And then I'm going to pull these off and actually glue them onto the topper here. I have two more here. And this heart is also back from Valentine's Day, and it was the styrofoams that came in the package of pink and red on a stick like this. I just pulled the red one off and glued it to there. So now what I'm gonna do is decide where I want these to go in here and get them glued down. So I like this configuration, so I'm going to go ahead and glue them in. Topper is all set, and so now I'm going to get ready to put the tree together. One last thing before I get started putting the whole thing together is I'm going to be using the container that I made last week. If you missed that video, I will make sure to link it in the description box. And what you can do if you decide to make one of these is you can put floral foam, wedge that down in there. Unfortunately, I don't have any on hand at the moment, so I have some packing foam that I'm using, but I didn't have enough to build it up for the tree. So I do have these wooden dowels stuck down in there so I can slide the tree down in there. Otherwise, if you have enough foam, you can actually just wedge the tree down into the foam and then cover it. Also, another way to do the tree is to put it in a bucket and do the same thing with the foam, or you can use rocks or something to let it stand up that way. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and use these bags around this little makeshift foam that I have here just to kind of wedge it in and make sure it doesn't go anywhere. But I did want to make sure you knew that that's what I was doing, and a couple of different options that you can use if you decide to recreate this tree. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this part. And that's pretty wedged in there. So then all you would need to do is decide what you want to cover all this mess with so that's not seen, and it's good to go at this point. So I'll be back. I just love how my little sweet tree turned out. Tell me what you think about it in the comments below. And don't forget to check out the playlist to see what all of my friends created. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and leave me a comment below. If you'd like to see more, subscribe and choose all notifications so you don't miss my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, love, inspire, create. See you next time.